Welcome to day number 2, how to become an expert in anything fast with AI. In this course, we're going to look at how AI can be used to expand your expertise in any areas fast. What we're going to look at in today's course is a 4-step process to build expertise, a live, well, semi-live notebook LM demo, and I'm going to give you access to a GPT and a prompt you can use to write great research questions. Now, I'm not talking about AI making you an expert by giving you summaries. Summaries can be good and useful, but usually deliver little new and are hard to make yours. The myth out there is that better AI equals better research. No, the reality is a better question equals better research. And only you can write the question. And equally important, when you write the questions, you will have a better understanding of the answers you get back. Now, the pattern is pretty consistent. If what you want to look at is a summary, is it usable? Yeah, sort of. A vague question will give you a plausible answer. Is it usable? Sometimes. A precise question with cited findings is almost always useful. And the scale of information out there is truly amazing. Google Scholar currently indexes 220 million academic articles. Deep Research AI scans thousands of them in minutes. In 10 minutes, you can do what I used to do in a week of research. A precise question turns 10 minutes of work into something truly useful. Now, there are 2 roles. You need to be the expert, as we talked about earlier today. It's your domain, your judgment. What you do is you use AI to find the things relevant to it, but it starts with the questions that you ask. We're going to take you through a 4-step process, step by step, about how you become an expert. The first step is defining your question. It's your domain, your judgment. Only you can write it. The question is the fuel that gets things started. A bad question might be something like, how does AI affect expertise? A good question is, do structured AI users outperform unguided users on critical thinking over 6 months? One is general, one is specific. You need to have a general level of expertise to write the second one. There's 2 ways you can do it. One is you can write up your belief, 1 sentence. What do you think is true right now? Search for a bit of tension in it. What would prove you wrong? Essentially, that is your question. Sharpen it, add a population, add variables, time frames, hand it to AI, read what comes back, find what you did not know. A second, and my preferred way, is to write a real research question. Start with an objective. I'm working on this well-defined project. Help me collect relevant information. Or better yet, start with a hypothesis. You can ask AI to help you write research hypotheses. Simply ask for help. Use the prompt on the next page on my literature review GPT. What you can do is you can take our literature review planning prompt, which is at the link on this page. Will define how you actually define what you're looking for. It defines a research question. It breaks it up into sub-questions. It's what you include, what you exclude. It puts together a search strategy. It extracts them, it synthesizes. All that stuff is explained step by step in one simple prompt. Or you can use our GPT, which is available at the link here. And you say, look, I'd like to write a literature review based on a specific question. For me, in this case, would be about effective versus merely efficient use of AI by knowledge worker. How does the Sparks model fit? Ask me questions one at a time to help me define a good set of research questions. And what will come out of this will be a very detailed research plan. It'll describe what the framework looks like. What are the sub-questions? How are we going to measure it as far as behavioral metrics? What's the output structure? What do we include? What do we exclude? This is done in just minutes. The second step is to do deep research with AI. My suggestion to you would be to use more than one model. You have different actions. You can use source grounded models where you control the source. If you've been working in an area for a long period of time, you can just upload the articles that you have. I prefer to start on the other side, which is probably with a web grounded research, which is done by all the LLMs. You ask a question, it gives you data. Important, it's not always accurate, but you can always ask. There's another site which I think is fabulous called answerthis.io. You have site.ai. AI plans and runs, and typically it's all academically validated. Now, what does deep research actually do? It gets your question, it breaks it up into chunks, it searches in parallel, and it returns back your cited findings. If I look at the numbers that I would get running this in different LLMs, you have Claude, it will give me 28 citations. ChatGPT will give me 37. And my preferred one would be NotebookLM, which is giving me back 220 articles. What I get back is all the references, but equally important, some sort of executive summary, which allows me to get started looking at what we want to do. Now, how we do this in practice? The next step is to review the results that you get back as a human being, judge what comes back, and collect data on the new hypothesis. The way that I like to do this is to read, scan through it, interrogate the results, upload a summary, ask some questions, or use a review tool like NotebookLM. And it's easy for lots of different formats. For me, what I like to do is if I'm doing a research, I'll ask for 3 typical outputs: a podcast, which is easy for an in-depth review. I can listen to it while I drive into a client. A video, 4 to 6 minutes long, quick and easy for me because I think visually, and an infographic to share. My prompt here would be, provide me with factual evidence supporting the Sparks framework leads to more effective use of AI. And what we'll get out of this is actually something that's quite cool because it goes through the elements of Sparks, what the evidence is saying, how strong is the evidence, and where can I find it. Lastly is to do something with this. One place you can create a context file is in your brain. The more that you read, the more you know, the better you can evaluate things. What I like to do is also create a context file with key data that I put in ChatGPT, Gemini, or NotebookLM. Saving your results, you can do different things. You can create a summary file. That's available in all the LLMs. It's got limited depth. You can create a project, which is upload your summary plus the key data, key citations, key articles, or you can do something which is source grounded and you create an updatable resource. It's easy and it's easy to questions after. Every course in this program actually has a NotebookLM, which has all this data, all the sources together in one place. For example, here I have a NotebookLM on efficient versus effective usage of AI. What are the facts? Now, I know some of you don't want to use tools like this, but you want to stay in the land of Claude. I have a secret path for you. There's a plugin called Cortex, which will allow you to download all the things that come into NotebookLM, export them off to Claude. You just have to download them. Moving forward, your question is the fuel. AI is just the engine. Expertise is not gone. It's more important than ever before. And thankfully, it's getting easier. Just like every chapter, we got a few learn more links, a systems level expertise, an augmented framework for accelerated domain mastery. It's a NotebookLM research report. A guide, 7 steps to master research projects fast and building expertise with AI. What I'd like you to do is apply the 4-step method to a real challenge from your work. What will come out will be your deep research file. How do you do this? Step number one is define your question plus your research question. What do you believe is true in your field right now? And in one sentence, you can use the GPT or prompts in this lecture to find your research questions. I suggest you do. It's going to give you a much better result. You run deep research with AI. Suggestion here is use more than one model. When you use more than one model, you get more data, more insights. You review the data as a human, judge what comes back. If you're using Notebook LM, make a video, make a podcast, an infographic, and look to see if you come up with some new hypotheses that you didn't think about before. Create a context file and save it there. You're done when you've extended your area of expertise in one area. The step-by-step process, if you want to do this fast and easy, go to the GPT to define a question, copy it to Notebook LM, search, add the sources, make a video, describe a video. That's it for today.